All right, so we're gonna get this thing started. So my whole thing is, there's a lot of people want to tell you exactly what to eat. People want to know what exactly do I need to be eating and stuff like that. But I want to talk today mainly about behavior goals versus strict weight loss. Like, hey, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds. It's a great goal to have. A lot of people have that exact same goal, but you're putting all your eggs in one basket on that scale. And if you show up and that scale will give you a bad answer, then you're not happy. I've had some people that so I only weigh, we used to weigh people in back in the day, and they come in, and one person be ecstatic, her week is made. The other, she just pictured all this hard work for absolutely nothing. So she feels like a failure just because of what the scale said, and it can swing wildly based on parts of the day, what's going on with the moons, all kind of crazy things. It could be 8 pounds one way or the other. So it's just when we talk about behavior goals, because that way you take the power back. It's not in this little piece of plastic, little thing on the floor, because you can control your behaviors, right? Within reason, we can all control our behaviors. Weight loss, there's a whole lot more that goes into that. It's also, weight loss is just part of the picture. You want to talk about energy levels, your stress levels, how you're sleeping, how you're feeling, how your relationships are. All these things. Are my clothes fitting better? Not just a number on the scale. So we're going to kind of get away from the scale a little bit. It's part of it. It's part of the puzzle, and it's a lot. It's an important part. And also, some people have a weight loss goal. They're like, okay, why do you want to lose 20 pounds? I just have a certain weight I like to weigh. Like sometimes it's not even really a good reason. It's a lot of women I've talked to, they have a certain ideal weight, goal weight in mind, and 20 pounds of muscle and fat would be different. If you lose 20 pounds of fat, that's awesome. That's what you would look like entirely different. When you lose a bunch of muscle, it's not going to be good. So these things is, like I said, weight loss part of the puzzle. We're going to focus today on habits and kind of outcome behavior goals rather than that, because that gives us the power and not just a scale. So let me ask you guys this question. Do you think losing weight is hard?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I think most people think that. But if you go in, if that's your goal, whatever your goal is, if you go in saying this is hard, automatically you give evidence to your brain that, hey, I'm not sure I could do this. So right off the bat, you're kind of fighting that uphill battle. You got to go in and like give yourself a little bit of confidence that, hey, maybe it is, but I can do this. You want to add that. If you're going to say weight loss hard, you got to add something in that. Hey, but I can do it. It sounds like something small, but your brain kind of drives everything you do, because it's going to drive your actions, what you're going to do. So give yourself a little bit of evidence that, hey, right off the bat, we're going to do that. Because it's really important part. It seems like a small thing, but give yourself that little boost right off the bat. So what's your biggest struggle right now? So let's go before and after. Let's go before this pandemic and then right now. What's some struggles you guys are dealing with right now?
Eating something other than beans for dinner.
Other
So
than
a big pot of beans
Mhm.
Sunday or something, and then I just get it out. And I need to be making a meat and vegetables and such, as opposed to just beans.
Okay. All right. So I got a whole section on like just Sunday prep work, some things we can look at doing for that. So
Yeah, I'm with Marie on the beans because it's the way I grew up eating it. But I mean, I could have a crock pot of pinto beans every day with cornbread and be happy. And that's the most highest carb and most horrible meal, but I love that.
yeah, y'all would do good in Nicaragua because you eat rice and beans for breakfast, rice and beans for lunch, but then for dinner you have beans and rice. So you switch it up. Y'all would do well down there, but so yeah, that's something it's easy too, right? You just kind of cook it up and you can eat on it all week. So yeah,
Exactly.
we'll talk about how to get some variety in your life. What else? What do you guys dealing with? Might need some help with.
I know I need some healthier like snack options. That's even before this and during this. It's hard being home, and which I've had to just make myself not buy a lot of things for the kids that I used to because it's hard for me.
Yeah, that's the way we do it at our house too. Because last night I was really wanting like, I don't know, cake, ice cream, something. We don't have it, and I'm too lazy to leave the house. And guess what? I didn't get it. I went to bed, took a shower instead of going to bed. And
I know,
like,
just go to bed mad then.
yeah, I just pout my little self to bed. But woke up, didn't have any of that stuff, so it felt better. And it was like 9:30. I was partying hard last night. So yeah, that's one thing. So let's just talk about. So most of us want to eat better on a consistent basis. You know, a lot of us we kind of go through and we're doing pretty well, and then fall off a cliff, and then we come back up. Here we come again, and then a cliff. You know, we kind of go. We're not very consistent. So let's talk about that's a goal most people have. So a skill that you need to build your skills around this stuff is hunger and appetite awareness. Those are two things that we've kind of gotten away from. That we do a lot of bored eating. You know, we're not necessarily hungry, we're bored. So that's emotional eating. We got stuff. I'll cover that later on as well. But especially right now, because we're home so much, we don't have as many distractions like I used to leaving the house to go and do different things. So you may just feel kind of bored. And you're like, well, if I eat this, it'll be 10 minutes. I have something to do, right? So we do that a lot. So, but I'm not really hungry. So you have to build that awareness. So studies have shown that's the most important skill for making progress is hunger and appetite awareness. You know, so we'll talk about that. But what does that mean? Like, well, I don't really know what that means. So there's two things you need to build into that to really build that skill. So that's talking about these practices we can do to build skills to get to our goal. And what we're gonna do, first one is eat slowly. That's a huge thing right there. For me, I've always been a
The
fast eater.
biggest problem for me.
Me too, Dale. I've always been a fast eater. I grew up, I wanted to get away from the dinner. You had to finish your dinner and then ask to be excused, you know, that type of deal. So I was like, man, I want to go back to whatever I was doing. So I eat fast. Also, I had brothers, and if you wanted seconds, you had to get your first down and then go and get seconds. So I've always been a fast eater. I've also been a distracted eater. That's one I'm working on as well. So it's very rare to me to just sit down and eat a meal. We do that as a family a few times a week. We've been doing better through this, not watching TV, not being on phone, not reading books while you're doing that. Distracted eating and eating slower, actually putting my fork down, it's pretty rare for me. So this is one I've been working with. So eating slower, it takes a while for your stomach to tell your brain that it's full. So if you've ever eaten real fast, if you're a fast eater like me, eat all this food and you're like, oh man, now I feel terrible. Oh, why did you let me do that, stomach? Like, hey, I'm sending a message. It takes a little while to get there. So eating slowly is a huge right there. And you want to eat until you're satisfied and not stuffed. And I always ate till I was stuffed because that's how I grew up. Most people grow up in the South. That's how you eat, right? So you just can't.
Yep.
Just stuffed like a tick. Like, oh, I'm gonna go into my grandma's house, and she would that was her love language, right? It's feed people, and just until you want to pop. So just, you know, but try to eat till you're about 80% full, which is definitely something that takes practice. Some of this stuff could take months or even years to really master it. But the first step is slowing down. So if you can do these two things, you can eat slowly and eat until you're satisfied or at least full and not stuffed, you could really make some difference. Hey, good morning, Diane.
Good morning.
How are you?
Better than I look.
Yeah, we got a couple people who wouldn't even turn their cameras on, so don't feel bad.
Well, I may do that.
I won't be offended.
Okay.
So yeah, we're just talking about building two habits. Number one is eating slowly, and the other is eat until you're satisfied, not stuffed. So eat until you're about 80% full is what you're looking for right there. And that's just kind of the first two things. So if you can build those, if you do nothing else, you start there and really make a lot of progress. So eating slower and eating till you're 80% full, which, like I said, they're both going to take practice. They're not going to happen overnight. Two things that can really help you though. So talk about a few more things that can kind of go along with that are going to help you. Number one is controlling your environment. We touched on that a little bit. You want to look at using smaller plates and cups. So if you look at how plates have gone over the years, you know, you start off, you have this kind of plate right here, and they've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Thinking about a movie popcorn, how big a movie popcorn would be, and how much is a reasonable amount of popcorn and how much is in that bucket that's like this big. I don't even know how many ounces it is. I should have looked that up. But, and if you're in there and you pay your $47 for that popcorn, you're probably going to try to eat the whole thing, right? And that's another thing. You're distracted eating the movie. Sometimes you're just sitting there or you're waiting for the movie to start or whatever. You're just mindlessly eating popcorn. And the next thing you're like, oh my gosh, I ate this whole thing. I feel sick. And the movie's not even over yet. Then you pair that with your giant drink. It takes 2 hands to drink. Because they had it on special, right? Get the large popcorn and large drink, you get it on special. And just these huge amounts, like this 64-ounce Coke and this huge popcorn. Next thing you know, you got 5,000 calories from a movie. So starting to use smaller plates and smaller cups is really going to help because most of us are going to finish what's on our plate, right? And if we see this, like you go to the fancy plates and they put like this tiny amount on this big plate, you're like, oh man, they ripped me off. But if the plate was a little bit smaller, you wouldn't feel it as bad. It's kind of a psychological deal that most of us are trained to finish whatever's on our plate. The Clean Your Plate Club, we're all charter members of the Clean Your Plate Club. So starting to get smaller plates, smaller cups, that type of stuff, because we're finishers, right? We're built to finish things. So, and then huge portions have kind of become the norm. So if you look back, 50 or 60 years, if someone saw these huge hamburgers that we have these places and giant pizzas and things like that, like, goodness, look at that. So we looked at the average calories per person for women has gone up probably about 500 calories per day per person. So it's compared from the 1970s until today. So it's gone up about 500 calories a day, which is about an extra pound a week. So if you put on about 500 calories a day over a week, that's 3,500 calories, which is about what a pound of fat weighs. You can imagine, well, we probably weigh a little bit more. That's part of the deal. So there's other factors that go into that, but the bigger portion size is a big one. We'll go into portion control later too, but just kind of touching on that. Also controlling your environment. We talked about this. Get the junk food out of the house. So I'm with Mandy. I have a 14-year-old who would live off of junk food if we let him. Or I probably would too. I mean, I'm a 14-year-old inside still, so.
Yeah, if I was still a 14-year-old when I could eat everything in the house and still weigh anorexic, I would.
Yeah. Like how you eating chips and popcorn and candy and you got a 6-pack? What's going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, you've seen Jackson. He's a skeleton, and if you saw what that kid eats, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Brendan's the exact same way.
Yeah. What we've done is got a lot of the junk food out of the house, so he's forced to eat healthy stuff, which is amazing. If he gets hungry enough, he'll eat it.
He'll eat it.
We have reasonable amounts. Like we have stuff that he likes. It's probably not the greatest for him, but within reasons, we try to get it right about 80% of the time. 20% of the time, go off the rails. Now, my wife's out of town right now. There ain't been a whole lot of vegetables. We had sandwiches from Publix last night.
Yes.
I got to look up the calories. I got to do research. They had this chicken tender sandwich. That thing probably weighed 5 pounds.
It was probably very healthy, Joe.
Very healthy. Fried chicken on a sandwich. Very healthy.
Yeah, the kids, I have started, like some of the junk food stuff they like. I've been only going grocery shopping every 2 weeks doing my Walmart pickup, and I'll buy, like you said, a few things they like, but I tell them I will not be going back to the store for 2 weeks. So if you want to eat it all this first day, you can, but if not, you have nothing the remaining of the 2 weeks. And some stuff they do okay with, but some it's gone within a few days, and I make them wait.
Well, that's good. Then you can't eat it either. That's good.
Nope.
Get it out of the house. So yeah, that's my nutrition philosophy. If present me eats all this candy, then future me is on a diet. So yeah, so kind of controlling your environment that way, getting the junk food out of the house, because we're all tempted by that stuff. It could be whether you're a salty or sweet person. If it's a temptation, you're eventually going to give in if it's there. But if it's not, and you're like me and you're too lazy, you probably won't drive all the way to the store and get it, or go to Sonic or whatever's close to your house. Sometimes you will, but for the majority of the time, you will come out on the end as a winner because you're not leaving the house. Especially for a while now, we're not able to leave the house. So there's that. On the opposite side of that, make healthy food easy to see and access. So let me go back to junk food just for a second. I forgot to touch on this, but if you are going to keep the junk food in the house, Don't make it so it's easy to see. Hide it back in the pantry. If you got ice cream, bury it behind all the stuff in the front. Because otherwise, every time you see it, you're going to think about it and you'll have that craving for it. Sometimes you won't even be having a craving at all. Or you might see something on TV, like a donut commercial, and I'm like, oh man, I want a donut. Where before, you didn't want a donut at all. It's the same way if you have a candy dish out, if you work with people, that's another thing about if you're at work, if someone has a thing of Hershey's Kisses, you'll probably walk by and grab one every now and then. And if you're the person with that on your desk, you're probably grabbing one every few minutes. So having that easily accessible you're gonna eat it, right? So on the flip side, if it's healthy stuff, you've got pre-chopped up fruits or vegetables, or if apples are easy to see, or if you've got we got some pre-washed strawberries in there, I gotta chop them up, or Mr. Lazy in there, my son probably won't eat them. If I chop them up though, he'll eat every one of those strawberries, right? So if it's easily accessible and it's easier for him to grab that than go in the pantry and grab something that's probably not good for him, that's probably what he's gonna do. We're all the path of least resistant type of people. So if you have that stuff readily available, you keep it in eyesight, you're gonna eat that, and you're gonna crave that more than you will something else that's out of sight, for the most part. So having that stuff, so we're trying to make it easier. So you make problem behaviors inconvenient and make the things you want convenient. It's all about convenience. That's how we are just built as humans. So if you make it tougher on yourself to get to this stuff, it's gonna be tougher on you to get it in. So making the good stuff easy to get to, that's typically what you're gonna take. So kind of controlling your environment can be a big one. Let's talk about the Sunday prep ritual. We kind of touched on that earlier with Marie. So I kind of have a 4-step process for that. Sometimes I do it pretty good. Sometimes I don't, but I want to share it with you and see what you got. So you want to analyze your week ahead. Like normally this would be travel ball basketball season for Mandy and I as kids. And what that means is the week's kind of short. You got to get everything in because you're going out of town on the weekend. And then you're going to leave and you're going to be living out of a car, out of a hotel. You probably not have too many healthy food options. You got to figure it out. Like plan for that. You know what's coming up. So that's just an example. But if you know you've got a crazy week coming up, you're not going to be able to grab foods real quick and things like that. You got to analyze that week and be ready for it. Otherwise, when it hits, you're just kind of, oh, what do I do now? What am I going to do? Having a little bit of plan. So then you plan your weekly meals. So you think about, all right, what am I going to look at? What am I going to bulk cook? So we talk about some bulk cooking things we can go with in a crock pot or an Instant Pot. So kind of getting that together and then go shopping or do your grocery shopping order, which we've been doing that, having it delivered to the house. That's been a game changer. Except for you never know what you're going to get. The other day I got someone else's order and they ordered a bunch of beets. I mean, canned beets, a lot of them. 4 almond milks, about 5 canned salmons. All this stuff that, I don't know, man. I eat salmon, but not out of a can. So anyway, having that has been huge because I'm lazy. Well, hey, I can go in there and I'm not gonna be tempted in the store to buy a bunch of stuff that I don't think I need because I'm doing my grocery list, I do it online and send it and then it comes to my house. Magic. It's a magical world we're living in. They can just bring food to your house. So then if you've got your list, you buy exactly what's on your list. You don't get tempted for that. So that's what online shopping is good about that. So then you use your plan, you go shop and get those meals, and then you prep it and get ready to roll. So that's mainly for me would be like prepping vegetables, chopped I cook bell peppers almost every week. Either have them chopped up for fresh or have them cooked on the grill and for the week. So I like to tell people to eat the rainbow. So if you can get a bunch of different colors, you're not eating the same color of stuff all week long. We just get bored with our tastes, and they're a little bit better. So you get green, the yellow, the red. The greens are the cheap bell peppers. You know, those are the ones, but the fancy ones, you know, the yellow, the red, and the orange, those are the ones, you know, those are those high dollar ones right there. That's the ones I like. So you get those and try to eat different colors. You're going to get different fruits, vegetables, different colors. That's going to be helpful with the nutrients you need. Let's talk about things you can.
Joe?
Yes.
Real quick, on the peppers, is there more nutritional value out of a red or yellow than as opposed to a green?
I wouldn't even worry about that. It's not a big deal. It's got different things in there, so you want to kind of eat the variety for that way, but there's not a huge difference between the two of them.
Okay. What about the organic versus non-organic?
The nutrition value is going to be the same. It's just the pesticides will be the difference on it. But most studies have shown if you wash your stuff, then you're going to be fine.
Okay.
If you're trying to save some money and you're like, well, I don't want to know about that, then I don't think organic's absolutely necessary. I buy when I can.
Okay.
It's not a huge difference, but as far as nutrition value, there's not a big difference. So it's more about the pesticides. Sure. Some other things I like to chop up onions or broccoli or something like that, cook those on the grill or just have those ready, carrots. Just think about whatever, and don't force yourself eating vegetables you don't like. You know, you're not a 4-year-old having to force yourself to eat vegetables. That I can guarantee you there's some vegetables out there that you like, and you just got to figure out how to cook them, how you like to prep them. We're all a little bit different. You got to experiment. I've eaten some terrible things on my journey to figure out what I like. But now I've got a bunch that I can go to and I know what to avoid. So don't be afraid to get out there and experiment. So I try to get people to go on this vegetable challenge for 28 days. Try a different vegetable for 28 days. And then I can get you set up on that if you want. It's a little program. You get an email every day. It tells you if you want to try that out, just let me know and get you set up on it. But you don't know if you don't try it. You know, maybe I like it, maybe I don't. But you can really pick the game up when you know you got more options. So here's a list of some things that I like to cook over the weekends or bulk cook. Stews and chilies, it's getting cold. Record lows right now. It's like in the 40s, maybe the 30s. Normally this time, it was like 85 a few days ago. You probably don't want to think about eating some beef stew or chili or something like that. Now it's a little bit colder. Those are good things. You can cook a bunch of it, put it in the crock pot or your Instapot or whatever, and it gets kind of, Instapot's magic. I love our Instapot. And just cook those in big amounts, and they're pretty easy. There's tons of recipes out there, and I can send you guys some of those if you need them. But yeah, those are good. They keep good. They reheat good, or you can also freeze them if you want to do them that way. Proteins, I try to grill fish, chicken, and whatever, a lot of chicken over the weekends. For proteins, you can boil eggs. If you like eggs, you do hard-boiled eggs, get those ready. Those are good kind of grab-and-go things for breakfast or a snack or something like that. I roast vegetables. That's a big one I do. You can also cook potatoes. I'm not someone that thinks potatoes are the devil. I'm Irish, so I'm not allowed to think that. But if you compare, you know, sweet potatoes get all the hype, right? You say, oh, if you want to eat healthy, you got to eat a sweet potato. If you compare a sweet potato to the regular white baked potato, whatever you call them, the nutritional value is not that different. So if you're thinking that potatoes are the devil and that carbs are evil and that type of thing, I wouldn't worry about that. For my thing, I try to give people, if it comes from the earth, it's going to be okay. Your body knows what to do with it, you know? So carbs have kind of gotten a bad rap over the years. Because people think carbs are the devil because it's chips and candies and that type of stuff. That's not great for you. But if it comes from the earth, like carrots, we're getting a bad rap. Carrots aren't going to hurt you. You'll be all right. Eat you a carrot, you know? When I was a kid, carrots made your eyesight better, right? That's what I was told. Even though I'm blind as a bat, I should have eaten more carrots. But, you know, if it comes from the earth, I would say so. If you get your diet eating more whole, unprocessed foods, things that come from the earth, you're going to be much better off. So don't worry about potatoes and that. So that's just a few things you can because you can cook a bunch of those and cook them different ways too. Potatoes got rough, kind of the bad rap when people started frying them. You know, turn them into French fries and things like that. And then you can even do that a healthier way too. Do it in avocado oil or coconut oil or something like that, and it's not as bad. So there's just ways, but don't be demonized. It's also, potato is an easy carrier for other things like putting cheese on it and sour cream on it and all these different things. Not potato's fault. He's just there carrying things, right? So don't blame the mighty potato. I'm just the carrier. So just think about some things, whatever you like, and they can keep in during the week. So some people, the only problem is like, I don't like eating the same thing every day throughout the week. For me, I'm pretty boring. I could do that, but a lot of people don't like it. So you can do different things. If you have all these vegetables and maybe I'm eating with a grilled chicken, you can also throw them into some egg, mix it up with egg, make some egg frittatas with that. I wasn't sure if I could say that word. It came out better than I thought. But, you know, there's a recipe I can give you for that where you just cook them in there, your leftover vegetables, meat, whatever you want. You just kind of make a meal so you can kind of do different ways. You kind of repurpose your meal. So you're not eating, okay, this day I ate salad, chicken, I ate chicken, salad. You don't just switch it up. You can do different ways, get a little creative with it. Or you can also cook a few different meals. Bulk cook that. You do like a chili, and some grilled chicken, you can do that. At least have something where you're switching up and it has an easy kind of grab and go aspect where you're pulling it out of the refrigerator and you're ready to go. So you're not tempted otherwise. So let's get into some emotional eating. That's kind of a big deal, especially right now. Emotions are running pretty high for a lot of people. So here's some questions that you can just answer them to yourself. You want to write it down or just kind of keep track. Count how many yeses you say to these questions right here. Do you eat more when you're feeling stressed? Do you eat when you're not hungry or when you're full? Do you eat to feel better, to calm yourself, soothe yourself when you're sad, mad, bored, anxious? Do you reward yourself with food? Do you regularly eat until you've stuffed yourself? Does food make you feel safe? Do you feel like food is a friend? Do you feel powerless or out of control around food? And do you crave a specific food? All right, so if you look through those, we kind of some emotional eating questions. So if you look through those, if you answered 3 or more yeses, then it might be something you want to look into kind of dealing with. So the best way that I've found is keeping a food journal. So you keep a food journal, and along with that, you kind of write your mood in there with it. So breakfast, maybe you weren't stressed. Hey, I had a healthy breakfast, felt good. But then you go throughout your day, and lunch, you've had a stressful day. Work's been crazy. The kids are out of control. They won't be quiet while you're trying to work. So you just went all out. You're mad, you're stressed, and your lunch is just crazy. Maybe it's a fifth of vodka and a cheeseburger. I don't know. That just came to my mind. That's what I was craving, I guess. But just think about that. And then you kind of look, what you're looking for is patterns. So if you look at, every day around lunchtime, things go off the rail because this, or every night at dinner, I'm exhausted and I don't feel like doing anything and I eat this, or I drink this. I drink a bottle of wine every couple of days or every 2 to 3 days. Look for patterns, not only in kind of what you're feeling, but what you're eating, and see if there's a connection. All you're looking for at first is just awareness. That's the absolute key right there, is just being aware of it. Start there and just find out, hey, well, every time this happens, if I'm aware of it, and I know it's coming, then I can start making plans for it. But the first thing is being aware of what's going on, and then we can deal with later on what you're going to do about it. But right now, if you answer 3 or more of those, start keeping that food journal, and you can do it on your phone. There's tons of apps for those. You can do it old pen and paper. You can keep a spreadsheet if you're that type of person. Not a spreadsheet guy, but take a note of that and then look for patterns. Because your food journal, I like those just in general because they are a blueprint of what's going on. You can find out, this explains that. And most of us kind of eat on autopilot, or we kind of do things on autopilot. But if you look back like, I ate a tub of ice cream and washed down a 6-pack of beer, maybe that wasn't the greatest plan. It's usually not that obvious for most people, but you're looking for patterns and kind of seeing what you're doing. Then we can work with it. But work on your awareness first. So these are some nutrition best practices. So if you kind of look at how to build your best nutrition life, number one, try to have protein at every meal. So the good thing about protein is it's going to keep you fuller longer, is the first thing. And also it's going to help you build and maintain lean muscle mass. So you're not trying to get big and bulky and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. The main thing, you're trying to maintain that muscle mass, because the more muscle you have, the more fat you're going to be able to burn just sitting around the house. That's why when a man goes on a diet and a woman goes on a diet, does the same thing, he loses 20 pounds, she gains 2 pounds. What? We did the exact same thing. How dare you? Mainly it's muscle mass. That's just the way it is. So you want to maintain that muscle mass. It's going to also keep you stronger. And also your strength is going to be your independence as you get older. So when you can no longer get out of a chair without assistance, then you've lost your independence. So you're going to look at that. That's a whole nother talk. But you want to make sure you're eating protein at every meal. Add 5 to 6 servings of fruit and vegetables per day. Start there. Hey, if you're eating none, start eating 1. If you're eating 1, eat 2. Work your way up. You're trying to eat these things that, you need to eat them. let's find out some ones that you actually enjoy. They're like, oh, you look forward to eating these vegetables, or at least you don't hate them, and then we'll figure out a way where you actually enjoy it. But you got to start somewhere. And if you're used to eating, these what's called hyper palatable foods, like high in sugar, high in salt, and all these different things, high in processed fats, most of this healthy stuff is not going to taste good at first, because your body it's calibrated for one thing, and you're trying to feed it, wait, I'm not ready for all that. So kind of look at that and give yourself some time. But eventually you're like, oh my gosh, I never knew an apple could taste this good. Because that's what we're meant to eat. Once you get back to that, it's really going to help. So eating less processed foods. Processed foods are just things about like things that come out of a box or a bag. They have a barcode on it, on the box or on the bag right there. That's usually processed food. So you look at things like bread is considered processed food. You look at all the ingredients on there, chips and candies, those type of things, processed foods. Most of us know what that kind of means, but we're all good. We all eat those things, but the more we can get away from those, the better. I touched on this earlier, but eat the rainbow. So you're going to get more of those nutrients you need, vitamins, things, and also get a little variety, different tastes and things like that. But try to eat the rainbow. Don't just eat green all day long. Nothing wrong with green. No offense to green. We like green. But throwing some oranges in there, some reds in there, it's exciting. Makes your fancy palate in there. So eating more nutrient-dense whole foods. So you look at what you might get from eating an apple versus an apple-flavored candy. Think about that's an extreme example, but more nutrient-dense foods help you stay fuller longer. You're going to get the vitamins you need. You're not going to get those empty calories is what we're trying to avoid overall. So just when you eat the apple flavored candy, you just get sugar and chemicals and all these things. And over here, there's some natural sugar called fructose in fruit, but it's not going to treat you the same as that other stuff. So it doesn't have yellow number 5 in it. Usually you're pretty good. So everything's yellow number 5's in everything, it seems like. All the candies that I like. All right, you want to avoid drinking your calories whenever possible. So that could be fancy coffees, orange juice, have a lot of calories, a lot of sugar. Alcohol is a big one for a lot of people. Soft drinks. Soft drinks are a big one. So some people can lose 20 pounds by cutting out. Hey, I quit drinking 5 Mountain Dews a day. There's people that drink 5 Mountain Dews a day. It's crazy, but it happens.
Joe,
yes.
what about the diets? And so you've got a diet soda that has 0 calories. So, so you're not having calories, but is that Diet Coke good for you?
I wouldn't say it's good for you. For me, I wouldn't drink them. But if you're just looking at strict weight loss, that's the move, right? It's calories in, calories out. I mean, not all calories are created equally, in my opinion, but if you're looking at 180 calories versus 0, then it's going to improve your health. There's some other things going on there that you might not agree with the fake sugars and all that good stuff, but it's a better move overall for its calories. I'm not a fan of diet drinks. I don't think all the full research is out on them. I don't want to be a conspiracy theory guy, but I think it causes cancer. I've seen some studies on that. The fake sugars and stuff like that. Use it. My answer for almost anything is in moderation. If you drink one every 2 days or something like that, you're probably fine. But if you're drinking 2, 3 to 4, if you're still drinking a bunch of those soft drinks every day, it's probably not great, whether it's got calories or not. So I would start, if you're drinking full calories, go to the diets. And then with the diets, start working away from those too. And it's not where you have to just cold turkey, I'm going to quit. So if you drink 20 ounces every day, let's try 16. And then from 16, let's go down to the can of 12. And then maybe a half a can a day. And then when you start working your way off, however long that takes. Most people are like, well, I'm just going to cut them out. For some people, that works great. For a lot of people, it does not. It works great for a little while, and then they come back. But I would work away from both of those and just enjoy them occasionally on that. But yeah, and coffee, there's some coffees that'll have 600, 700 calories in it, whipped cream and sugar and all these different things. You go to Starbucks, I think I saw one time they had 10 coffees over 500 calories. If you think about most people, I don't know, they say around 2,000 calories a day is an average, something like that. Do your math on that. What is that, 1/4? 25% of your calories from one coffee? That's gonna hurt. Now that's another thing. If you want to enjoy those every now and then, go for it. It's fine. But if there's something in your daily habit, you need to look at. That's the kind of things you look at that are like, hey, I do this all the time. If it's just, hey, I'm gonna go treat myself every now and then, it's fine. I'm not one of those, hey, you gotta do this right now. Cut them all out, nothing but chicken and broccoli. Let's go. I'm 80% get it right, 80 to 85%, and then the other 15 to 20%, go nuts. Enjoy yourself. Hey, life's supposed to be fun, right? You know, and also if you find yourself, and then if you don't give yourself that leeway, say, hey, I'm not allowed to have any of this stuff, the next thing when you do have something, you feel like a failure. You're like, well, Dad, I can't ever do this. And then you just go off the rails. That's how it works. But if you build in that cushion 15 to 20% of the time where you can have whatever you like, you're going to be more successful long term. So because you don't just, oh, well, I can't ever have this. Because that's, you ever heard of FOMO? Kids call it FOMO, fear of missing out. So that's a big one with a lot of people is, well, they're afraid, oh, I can never have this again. Like when the McRib is back, I gotta have the McRib before it goes away again. I'm having McRib FOMO. Almost cussed right there on accident, but the FOMO is a big thing, fear of missing out. So one time, bring up Nicaragua again, it just always pops back in somehow. So I was in Nicaragua one time, and we kept saying, all right, this is the last good meal we're gonna enjoy. So we would eat all these big crazy meals before we knew we were gonna be eating rice and beans and rice. So we're like, oh, we better go ahead and eat. So we did that for like 5 meals. Like, dang, when are we gonna? And then we got there and they actually served us real meals for the first time. So you have that FOMO, you're gonna be like, oh, I better eat this now because I won't be able to get it whenever, like at Christmas or something like that. Oh, I better eat a ton of this because I don't want to be able to have it till next Christmas. So avoid that FOMO, give yourself some grace, give yourself a little time for that. Let's talk about how we eat. Let me just read my little words I wrote down so I don't mess it up. So you want to eat in a calm, relaxed setting, eat slowly and mindfully, breathe between bites, relax, actually enjoy your food, and sit at a table and use real dishes if you can. So when's the last meal you were in a calm, relaxed setting, you ate slow, you were mindful about it, you're hey, I know exactly what I'm eating, what I'm doing, I'm focused on what I'm doing, I slowed down, I actually set my fork down, took a deep breath, relaxed, enjoyed the food, savored the food, it's a big fancy word, and I was sitting at a table with real dishes. I'm trying to think, it's been a while for me. So that's kind of an ideal setting that you can actually eat at a regular rate. You're not gonna overeat, eat all crazy, you're not eating stressed eating. You're also, you never wanna eat watching a football game. I remember one time, I was eating pizza, watching a football game. I ate like 3 pieces of pizza and didn't remember any of it. It just disappeared off my plate. I don't know if I just inhaled it, someone stole it off my plate, I had no idea. I was focused on watching the football game. Apparently those wood chippers, where you just, I think I did that with pizza. I think I just shoved it down my face and didn't remember. Because that distracted eating is a big thing. So if you can eat in a calm setting, and nobody right now has a calm setting for the most part, a lot of stuff going on. So think about working towards this, being calm, slow, relaxed, enjoying your food, chewing your food more than once or twice. I saw something you're supposed to chew it 32 times. There's no way. I'm not patient enough for that. But,
Hey, Joe,
yes.
I need to leave, so I'm good. Thank you, and we'll talk later. Great information.
Cool, Marie. And it's being recorded too, so you can catch up with the rest later.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Have a great day, everybody.
All right, see you, Marie.
Mhm.
Marie got hungry. She had to go eat. All right, so we're gonna moving on a little bit. So let's talk about portion control a little bit. So that's a big one. Even if you're eating the right things, if the portions are wrong, you're still going to gain weight. So if you eat, 4,000 calories worth of broccoli and chicken, you're going to gain weight. It's just calories in, calories out. So for women, a protein would be 1 palm. So your palm right here, that would be like your chicken breast would be that size right there. And then for vegetables, you want a fist of vegetables, whatever your fist looks like. So why we want to use hands for this, you take your hands with you wherever you go. Number one, they're portable. If you don't take your hands with you, please let me know. We'll figure out a different way. If you have some strategy you do with your hands when you go somewhere. They're portable and they're proportioned to you. So if you're a bigger person, probably have bigger hands, right? So my hands might be like slightly larger or smaller than someone else's, but they're my hands, so they're built for me. And you always have them with you, so you know, hey, I know I'm supposed to eat a palm of this. I don't care where I am, if I'm at my house, your house, or out to eat, I know I need a palm of protein. Palm, not the hand, not the whole hand. And then for vegetables, I want a fist of vegetables, so I put that. So I'm building a plate, so if you can picture your plate, got your protein right here, put your palm, your fist of vegetables right here. Then you get a cupped hand of carbs. So if you cup your hand, it's kind of hard to get the camera. So if you put your rice in there. So example, for a carb right there, you want a cupped hand. Kind of hard to see that. You can cup your own hand. And then you get a thumb of healthy fat. We'll touch on that a little. So healthy fats, you want to eat healthy fats. That could be avocado, could be some coconut oil, some nuts, something like that. It's a little bit depressing if you look at how many almonds fit in like a thumb that you matched up to like 8 almonds or something like that. Maybe less than that, depending on how big your thumb is. Because healthy fats are good for you, but they have a lot of calories. So if you look at protein and carbs, they have 4 calories per gram. Fat, on the other hand, has 9. So if it's the same size, it's still gonna have double the calories and then some. And alcohol is 7, if you're curious. So that has 7 grams or 7 calories per gram. So that's what you look at. It's good. You want that stuff, but you can also go overboard pretty quick. So if you ever eaten peanut butter, it adds up pretty quick. Yeah, healthy fat, that's a good healthy fat right there. Almond butter, peanut butter. By the way, almond butter is not that much more healthier, I guess. What am I looking for? They're pretty much the same. If you really break them down as far as the calories and nutrients and all that good stuff, they're pretty much the same. So if you don't like almond butter and it costs too much, just use peanut butter. It's fine. Try to use the natural stuff. You know, it's the stuff you got to stir it. I know it's a pain, but it doesn't have anything else. It has salt, peanuts, almonds, and salt. That's what you're looking for. So you don't want to look in there and have sugar and palm oil and all this other stuff. You don't want that. We're going to try to avoid that if we can. But look, so we got our chicken up here, whatever you want, McRib. Maybe that's not your protein you want. So you got that right here. You got a fist over here of my vegetables, my bell peppers, whatever. Then down here, I got my cupped, it's so weird, cupped hand of rice. And then over here, I've got my thumb of avocado or something like that. But I can give you some more stuff on those later. But I've got some pictures I'll show you. But those things we're looking for. So let me pull those up. Try and figure out how to share my screen again. So we'll see that. So we're going to go through. It's kind of got they'll have the green light, red light, and the yellow light of what we want to eat. Technology, I'm working on it. All right, share the screen right here. So what we're looking at here is eat more, eat some, eat less. So this be on the protein side of things. So if you're looking for options on protein, and I can send you guys this stuff, but we just want to go over it real quick. So you got eggs and egg white, you got fish, shellfish. You can even come all the way down here, kangaroo, crocodile, insects, protein of the future. Hey, no judgment here. If you like eating crickets, you go for it. That's good protein. They've got cricket protein powder out there if you want it. So those are the things you want to stick with. Those are kind of your lean proteins right there that are going to be your best options. Eat some. So these are your best option. These are the next best. So these are kind of like cottage cheese, medium lean meats, protein powders. And then the ones you kind of want to avoid right here. So high mercury fish would be one. Protein bars. It's not necessarily that, hey, you can't ever have these things, but you want to get the majority of your foods from the first column, a little bit from the second, and the last one, just avoid when possible. So just some different options in there if you're kind of struggling on what do I need to eat, or what do I want to prep on Sundays? What's some different things? That's some different things you can look at. So that's on your proteins. Come down here to carbs. So So carbs are not the devil. So eat more of these type things. So beans, you're ahead of the game, man. You're good. That's on to eat more. So these are the carbs. If you're looking for what are some healthy carbs, see potatoes right there. It doesn't say white potatoes or sweet potatoes, just potatoes. They're all in the same family. They're about the same if you break them down. And then we look to eat some. Look over here, white rice, and couscous. I like couscous too. So these are whole grains. That's the stuff that you might be eating right now. Vegetable juices makes it in there. Even pancakes and waffles made in there, and to eat some. How about that? To eat less is more like the processed stuff, sugary stuff. There's that guy right there. Candies and chips, and these are carbs. Most people kind of when they want carbs are considered to be the devil these days. That's usually what they think of. All right, then we'll come down to fats. So healthy fats is kind of most people struggle with this. Well, what is a healthy fat? It just doesn't seem right because fat, if you guys remember SnackWells back in the day when they took fat out of everything and they had all these snacks that were, if it has fat in it, we took the fat out, it's fine. But there's still calorie, sugar, all that stuff is still in there. You look at it, when the low fat craze kind of came in, obesity levels skyrocketed. Because they say, I can eat as much as I want as long as it doesn't have fat in it. And fat is an important part. So I disagree with any diet that takes out fats, carbs, or protein. Those are called your macronutrients. So I don't think you should ever take completely out of your diet. They're there for a reason. They do things that you need in your body. So that's my controversial post, I was going to say, but thought of the day. So look at these healthy ones over here. So extra virgin olive oil, avocado, egg yolks. So I eat the yolks, Brazil nuts, these type of things, olive oil, nut butter. We talked about that. In the middle, you got some different options on there. Some coconut oil is kind of in the middle on those. Dark chocolate, look at that. Made it in the middle column. It's pretty good. And then to eat less, I know that bacon being on there kind of hurt. So I've had to cut down on my bacon consumption. That would hurt me right there. So those are different oils that sometimes you cook with. So you look at your cooking oil, like I cook with avocado oil a lot. This one right here. So that's the one I like to cook with. It has a high smoke point. That means it's not just gonna go out of control there on the smoke. It's got high. It's good to cook. That's why I cook my eggs in every morning. I like to marinate stuff in there as part of that, the healthy fat. Put it on my vegetables and then add some balsamic vinegar or something like that. So just check those out right there. And like I said, if you guys want these, I can send them to you. And then we look at eating the rainbow. So if you're, what kind of vegetables are out there? So the green ones are pretty famous. You know, we've all talked about the green ones, but even white colored stuff made it on there. So I eat some onions. Cauliflower is all right with me, but you can look at these kind of the yellow, orange type of things. But if you want to pick them out and just, hey, I want to try some of that stuff and eat the rainbow and try different things and how do I like them? How do I like to prepare them? Those are some good options right there. But let's see, anything else on here? Oh, yeah, that's just portion control stuff. So. But those are just some options to look at right there that, hey, if I want to kind of look at my red light, green light, if you remember that game when you were a kid, that if I want to start over here and kind of work, I want to more from this column, a little bit less here, and these are just sparingly. So Mandy brought earlier some healthier snacks. So do you guys have some options of healthy snacks that you prepare right now that you enjoy? Anybody want to share anything they like?
I have started buying like some raw carrots and celery, but like I love celery, but I think I've heard it pretty much has like no nutrition value at all to it. So of course I picked something that really don't even help.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's going to burn calories chewing that stuff, right? It's got fiber in it. So yeah, it's still a vegetable. It's good. Celery's still good for you. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but you put peanut butter on it though. Anything I try to find, hey, what can I put peanut butter on? That's kind of my go-to.
Yeah, peanut butter makes everything better.
That's right. The only problem is you have to, like I said, we got to watch out your calories. And if you look at, if I'm supposed to eat just 2,000 calories, a number I'm throwing out there, I can eat 3 meals and then however many snacks I want, as long as I'm still getting underneath my calories right there. So as long as I'm not out of control, that's when you want to plan your day out. That's why kind of the out of control snacking, that's why people tend to gain weight, because I've got these meals planned out. And I'm supposed to get 2,000 calories, 1,500, whatever it is. and my meals are let's say 1,500. So all my meals are 500 calories. I should be losing weight. What's going on? Well, I add in 700 calories, 800 calories a day between the Coke and peanuts I have, whatever it is. So you got to kind of watch these things, even if they're healthy snacks, and you're not looking at how many, look at your portions. That's the things you look at. So kind of think big picture when you're planning out your week. And we're not going to be perfect as you go throughout the week. So you look, hey, I've got some meals planned, but things come up, or I'm just, man, I can't eat this anymore. I'm so sick of this stuff. There's sometimes I'll have all this chicken ready for the week, and I'll eat it and be like, man, I can't even look at that chicken right now. You got to switch it up. So that's why it's good to have other healthy options as a backup in the house, or at least have a plan of, hey, if this fails, I need to go to this backup. So anybody else have any questions or anything we can help you with? I forgot what anybody else if we didn't cover it.
So I'm just going to ask, like before, I just wanted to know, which I think I know your view on it since you talked about you don't think carbs should be eliminated, but what are your views on like the keto diet?
It works for some people. My problem is most people I've seen had success with it. It quit working, and then they gained the weight back, and then some. But it definitely works, because any diet, here's how any diet works. How there's so many diets out there that are awesome, and hey, this person did this and this. Anytime you're going to cut down on your calories, you're going to lose weight. So keto, what it does, it's going to cut down on your carbs. So you're going to eat less calories. It's not really magical in weight loss. You just cut out all these things you can have, so you get sick of eating proteins and fats. You're like, well, I guess I'm not eating. You're basically cutting out your carbs. There's fancy language, and they do all this stuff, and it works great for some people. We're all so individual, though, that some people are like, well, I can no longer eat this stupid keto diet, and then they go off the rails. Same thing.
Yeah.
Atkins diet back in the day was the same way.
Yeah, I had a problem with keto, which I mean, I lost 20 pounds with it, and I've been able to keep it off, maybe a couple pounds swing every now and then, but I had a hard time getting all the fats in, because you really do eat a lot of fat with it.
Yeah.
And then I've heard, then you read a bunch of stuff where that's not good for you to have that much fat. So I think every diet, they all have their pros and cons.
Yeah, and they all work is the thing. That's what's so confusing to a lot of people, is all of them work because you're cutting down your calories. I don't care which one it is, paleo or keto or Mediterranean or whatever it is. If you cut down your calories, you're going to lose weight. The thing is, can you eat like this long term? And there's some people, I encourage them to try it. Hey, do you want to try that? Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Because it might work for you. It may work great. It may work for your lifestyle. You may enjoy eating it. But if you are miserable the entire time, then you're not going to keep it up, and you're going to gain the weight back. Like if you think, oh, I hate eating like this, it's probably not the way you want it. But if you want to try something, I encourage people to try stuff all the time. There's some dude that lost weight eating Twinkies. Do you remember that was in the news? All he did was eat Twinkies. He lost weight. Because how many Twinkies a day could you eat? You're just, oh, that's all I'm allowed to eat is Twinkies. You're going to lose weight because you just get sick of eating Twinkies. So
Probably ended up being a diabetic, though.
yeah, you can lose weight. There's a guy that lost weight eating at McDonald's. You remember Jarrett from Subway? He was eating
Yeah.
Calories in and calories out. But is it sustainable? Are you getting the nutrients you need for your body? That's the time. So I'm telling you, man, moderation, eating, common sense is probably the best way to go for a lot of people. But we're all, like I said, we're all individualized. And some people, I remember when people did great on the Atkins diet, and then some people hated it. There's some people that love the paleo lifestyle. Some people hate it. So if you hate it, it's probably not for you. If you're going to immediately I got to have some pizza. Like for me, I'm going to give that stuff up. I'd rather be 80% disciplined, doing really good, and have that 20% leeway where I can live my life, live my best life. So I don't think you're meant to be on this earth to be deprived and feeling hungry all the time. Those diets where you feel deprived and hungry all the time, if it's long, maybe the first week, there's usually a transition period, whatever you're doing, where you're probably not going to be feeling that great. But if long term, if you're always like that, like if you feel like you're getting ready for a bodybuilding competition, if you ever talk to anyone, or a figure competition or something like that, you get around those people after they take all their carbs out of their life, there's some miserable people. Because your brain runs on carbs. You need some carbs in there. So that's just my opinion. I mean, I think there's research that backs it up too, but just from observing, researching in my life, that's what I've seen. But I'm always willing to help people. Hey, if you want to experiment with this, I'll help you with it, and we'll just see what happens. Because I think there's certain things you can learn from these short-term plans, like detox programs and weight loss programs and all these different things. You can learn something. And you can also, hey, maybe I can incorporate this in my life going forward. Maybe I don't like this full program, but here's something I can pull from that and I actually can use this and help me as I go forward. Anybody else have any questions or anything they need any help with? All right. Well, I appreciate y'all coming and getting up on a Saturday and sitting on another dang Zoom call if you've been on these all week. Appreciate it.